The starting point for our next river journey was at Chau Doc, at the confluence of two major branches of the Mekong, in the northern part of the delta. A sleepy city where the pace of life serenely flows by like its neighboring river. We were going to take that river, a journey all the way to the Cambodian border. To say people live on the river here is no exaggeration. They literally live on the river, in floating houses. We passed by several mini suburbs. We found out that they just weren't houses, but farms as well. Fish farms are becoming big business here, with most exports going to America and Europe. The farmers can conveniently live right above their livestock. Fishing made easy. All you do is raise the fish under your house, feed them every day, pull them out when you want them. Why bother going fishing? Along the way, we stopped off to see a Cham village. The Cham were an ancient kingdom that were heavily influenced by India through religion and language. Though the kingdom has long since disappeared, there are still pockets of ethnic Chams to be found throughout Vietnam. I took the opportunity to browse for some local handicrafts. This is traditional camera. And stopped off to watch a local sporting match. But soon it was time to get back on the river to continue our journey. There are plenty of opportunities to pause along the way and get a more personal sense of the river life. We stopped off to visit a group of farmers bringing their watermelons to market. Even though we couldn't speak the same language, we were made to feel at ease immediately, something that pervades the environment here and allows you to feel relaxed enough to take it for granted. People along the Mekong Delta are very friendly and very generous. Don't be shy to stop somewhere along the river and just meet the locals. They're very nice. We offered to lend a hand, but I found my buffalo driving skills to be a little rusty. I love the smell of fresh watermelon in the morning. We said our goodbyes and headed back up the river. It was soon time to stop for lunch. We dropped anchor in a small town along the shore. The quickest way to get around these towns is by cyclo. We're in Tan Chau, which is not far from the border. It's about 20 clicks to Cambodia from here. Riding around exploring the city, we searched for a restaurant that our boat driver recommended. We left the main river and branched off again into the canals. The villages along the banks are like a snapshot out of history. The languid pace of the long-tail boat lulls you into the rhythm of the water. The lush, flat delta has always nourished Vietnam and is the major rice producer for the country. The rich soil lends itself to other crops as well, but the area's fertility comes with a price. The upside of living in the Mekong Delta is there's always plenty of water. The downside is there's always plenty of water. The last flood here lasted 3 months. Many people lost their homes. I came across some Red Cross workers and asked them why they were here.
The main purpose is to work with the Vietnam Red Cross in building houses after the flood of year 2000. 70,000 families affected. And what the Vietnam Red Cross wanted to do was to take the families that lost their houses totally, that were elderly or disabled or incapacitated in some form, and try to help them get back into their houses. So the project really is 3,000 houses in 3 different provinces that were hit the worst by the flood of 2000.
The new homes are made of steel instead of wood for durability.
I'm very happy because my son has been living a very difficult life. My son now has a very nice house, very strong, and can be flood resistant. Thank you very much.
Once again, we headed north up the Mekong. This was to be our last stop, a small village right along the Cambodian border. We had headed upriver as far as you can go in Vietnam. The people of the border villages are a perfect example of the typical Vietnamese character. Hard-working but light-hearted, culturally strong but welcoming to visitors. An industrious energy also pervades the country, from the village market square to the high-rises of Ho Chi Minh City. But it is this combination of both exotic and friendly that stands out for most visitors to Vietnam. Our visit to Vietnam was at an end. Soon we would cross the border and continue our journey. There was still time to make one more friend before we left. My friend!
We are proud to travel in Asia and beyond with Thai Airways International.